Hello there, hope you're all well. A short episode on Harpers Law today. If you like the content, help the channel grow by sharing and subscribing. You can join the discussion on the Discord or in the comment section below. This short is about a proposed bill that is being campaigned for by the widow of PC Andrew Harper, PC Harper. It is to make the death of an emergency service worker, that is police, paramedic, doctor, nurse, firefighter and prison staff during the commission of a crime to mean an automatic life sentence. PC Harper was naturally furious at the 16-year sentence imposed for manslaughter and is seeking a change in law that is supported by the Police Federation of the United Kingdom and other groups, with the Home Secretary supposedly being in favour. Yet civil liberties organisations and human rights activists have reacted vocally and aggressively against this proposed change. In response, conservative activists and police have gone on the offensive, arguing this law change is exactly what is required, that it is long overdue and shows respect to emergency service workers and the contribution they make to society. To understand the proposed change, we first have to understand the difference between manslaughter and murder in English law. It boils down to your intent. If you intended to kill someone or to cause serious bodily harm, you are guilty of murder. If you didn't, it's manslaughter. Some defences can downgrade or mitigate murder down to manslaughter, such as mental health issues, illness, provocation, etc. The proposed change is relatively simple, but it causes a huge problem for the criminal justice system. Take the following example. You're a builder, you've left a concrete block on top of a ladder. You bump into the ladder, the concrete block falls off and it kills someone. You didn't intend to cause harm, you were negligent because you're not supposed to leave concrete blocks on top of ladders. Under the proposed change, if that concrete block hits you and I, that's manslaughter, a textbook case of manslaughter. If it hits a police officer or a paramedic or a firefighter, even if they're off duty, that is now a life sentence, which is patently absurd. Even in situations where a crime is being committed and through no actual intention a police officer or emergency worker loses their life, you are due a life sentence. What do I mean by that? Say you've just committed theft. You've stolen a phone. As you're running away, a police officer follows, trips, hits the head and dies of the wound. You didn't intend for anyone to lose their life. The appropriate sentence here is theft. But under this rule change, no ifs, no buts, you're going to prison for life. Some are arguing this shouldn't apply to manslaughter, but only for murder. That is when you kill someone with malice aforethought. But murder in English law already carries the punishment of life as its starting point. But then we also get into the thorny issue of which victims matter more. I don't think it's right that emergency service workers' lives are valued higher, because then it leads to the creation of a hierarchy of lives. We already know the police take certain crimes less seriously when committed against certain groups. Groups like sex workers or Romani people are never given the weight of hearing that a wealthy white aristocrat would be. Enshrining something like this into law would inevitably make this problem worse. Recently, we had a landmark decision in the United Kingdom where a serving police officer was found guilty of manslaughter after using excessive force against a person who died as a result of that excessive force. That's the first time in history. If I were to propose a law saying that any police officer who is found guilty of using excessive force is guilty of murder and gets an automatic life sentence, no ifs, no buts, the police force would react with absolute outrage, which I always find rather funny. It's interesting that so often police officers and police unions react viscerally against any curtailing of their power, even when the safeguards are put in place to protect the police. Wearing body cams, for example, protects police officers from malicious complaints because you're literally wearing the proof. Yet body cams are wildly unpopular with police, as are bystanders with video cameras. The culture of policing needs to change. I've spoken at length about this problem and the problem with the thin blue line ideology, see above, and this is part of it. Until the police realise they are of the community, these problems will continue to arise. To quote the father of modern policing, Sir Robert Peel, the police are the public and the public are the police. To conclude, I would say I understand the depth of feeling motivating this bill, but justice is not vengeance, nor should we create a situation where justice is not blind and not equal. We must do our best to ensure that our laws remain fair and not create legal absurdities like this. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this quick overview, and I'll see you on the weekend. Thank you and goodbye.